It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. And our coverage tonight at the American Airlines Center, where the Dallas Mavericks will be going up against the Detroit Pistons. Last game for the Pistons, they picked up the W against the Magic in Orlando. That game was a dominant performance. Always nice to win one going away, but it's just one game, and they'll be ready to go tonight. And tonight we'll be seeing Andre Drummond, pound for pound, one of the toughest players in the game, a monster in the post. Guys, is he the most physically punishing player in the league, Shaq?
Yes, the amount of space he takes up in the middle is impressive. He shrugs off all sorts of contact inside.
Well, he's got a blend of size and explosiveness, which is kind of unique. I haven't really seen a big man ever with size and explosiveness ever.
I can't really recall anybody either. Kenny, it's an excellent point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm racking my brain going back years and years and years in this league, and I can't think of a guy who is as physically punishing and intimidating just when you look at him.
And you think about it, you could look around, there's pictures of players all in this room, and I still can't see anyone who has that kind of culture.
Whoa! What?
Take it back to Kevin, Ernie.
Okay.
Oh, Shaq was pretty imposing.
No, don't say it now. It's too late.
That's right.
No, it's too late. I don't want to hear it.
Right behind Andre Drummond. You got my vote.
It's the Pistons, and they're doing business on the road. It's an interconference NBA matchup. Well, the holidays always bring us some incredible NBA action, and that's certainly what we have in store for us today. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge is joining us from the sideline. This homestand ends here for the Mavericks as they get ready to hit the road. Things have really gone south on them. Over the course of the last 7 games, they've gone 1-6.
And, you know, for the Mavericks, they're in the mix for a playoff spot, which is definitely a positive. But I'm sure they'd like to have had their hands around that spot a little tighter than they do.
I agree. They're not going to be able to coast. They're going to have to battle their way into the postseason. But maybe they'll toughen up by the time the playoffs arrive.
And with tip-off coming up, we've got just enough time to hear from our good friend David Aldridge on the sideline. D.A., take it away.
Well, guys, Stan Van Gundy has coached the likes of Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, and Dwight Howard. But he said, as a rebounder, Andre Drummond is as good as anybody, if not the best that I've ever been around. He just goes out and gets the ball. Drummond said, it's just a will. The will to get the ball most people won't jump for. I just put myself out there. Kevin?
Thanks, D.A. And Drummond is just a hulk of a man. He's really the backbone of this team. Well, Smitty, we have a fantastic matchup between 2 of the top centers in the league right in front of us here. It's a throwback to an era of an earlier time when big men were dominant in this league.
Kevin, I remember those days when you just sat down, you wanted to see Shaq versus Ewing, Akeem versus David Robinson. Those were fun. Yes, as a guard, we had matchups, but you know that was different. Those were the big men battling.
Yes.
I miss those days.
I do too. And it's the Pistons to start out. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the court for the Pistons, Johnson is out there with Griffin. Then there's Andre Drummond. Then there's Jackson. And it's Kennard in at the 2 spot. There's a screen by Noel. Here's Smith. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
How about the quick release there by Smith? He does not lack confidence when he's in attack mode.
Griffin against Nowitzki. Whistle blows. Yep, that's going to be a travel. On defense, Detroit. They come into this one having outplayed the Magic last game.
And I know the defense wasn't great, but yet and still, their ability to stay composed was impressive.
When things come too easy, it's easy to lose focus. But they held each other accountable and played hard.
Now Jackson, coming off a stellar performance against Orlando. Pass to Kennard. Pistons passing it around. Here's Drummond. That one doesn't drop. Now the Mavericks take it the other way. First chance of the season for them to go up against this Pistons team.
And in their 2 matchups last season, they came up empty both times. Not really too shocking when you see how they fared overall.
Nowitzki for 3. Hits the three-point bomb.
Well, this gives you some confidence when you drop 3 straight to start the game.
The feed now to Griffin. And Griffin slams it in.
That's the leadership they're looking for from Jackson. Staying patient, surveying the court, locates the open man.
Here's Smith. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Phoenix. Noel sets a screen for Barnes. He dishes it to Noel. Second chance shot. Barnes against Johnson. Barnes can't get it to go.
Boy, he blew an easy layup, and he is furious with himself.
Lobbed up there for Drummond, and it's out of bounds, and they say last touch by Griffin. And looking back at last season, here's a look at the 3-point and 2-point shot attempt averages for Dallas.
And you can see how big a role the 3-point shot played in their offense. They were determined to spread the floor and just kind of open things up through their long-range game.
The Mavericks have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Jackson against Smith. Nowitzki with the screen on Griffin. Smith dishes to Matthews. Here's Nowitzki. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in. Nowitzki's got 5 now.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. Kicks it to Johnson. Drummond with a screen on Barnes. Here's Johnson. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Johnson's got his first points in this one. Matthews passes to Smith. Dishes it to Nowitzki. Shoots over Griffin. And the shot no good, a bit short. Pistons trail by 5. Johnson with it. Guarded now by Barnes. Johnson double teamed. Here's Kennard. Off the mark there with the 3-point shot. For Dallas, they've gone 4 of 7 from the field, shooting over 50%. Count it.
Wow. With the defense bearing down on him, he calmly flips in the reverse.
The Pistons have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Jackson kicks to Griffin. Johnson outside. Kennard, the pass to Jackson. Here's Kennard. 5 to shoot. Drummond a screen from outside the arc. They get it again. Can't get the putback. Mavericks leading by 7. Lobbed up there for Barnes. Nowitzki dishes to Barnes. Back to Nowitzki. Passes it to Smith. There's a screen by Noel. Here's Barnes. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
And Harrison Barnes, just a tremendous athlete at that small forward position. I think his strength enables him to guard up and hold his own against power forwards, and coaches love that versatility.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That's good from Barnes. And Greg, you look at the versatility of Barnes. He can defend, I think, 3 positions.
And that's what the league is all about now. Switching on picks much more popular, and with an all-around solid defender like Barnes, it doesn't uncover mismatches.
Barnes hits them both.
Taking advantage at the charity stripe like he always does. Terrific touch.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Drummond, and sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
Flexing the power. Drummond takes the hit, finishes through it, potential and one.
And watching Andre Drummond play, he's really just an old school type center. I mean, eats up space in the middle and finishes plays in close. Not a skilled guy who can pull a defender away from the basket.
That one misses. And with Drummond, he does play like towering centers of decades past.
Yeah, I mean, he isn't great at moving the ball around or hitting shots from range, but his size and athleticism are elite and one of the best rebounders in our game.
Here's Drummond after Wesley Matthews' score. Griffin kicks to Drummond, and it's Drummond with the jam.
I mean, tremendous body control in the air. Andre with the easy catch and flush.
And the replay presented by Under Armour. Unleash chaos, giving us the chance to enjoy that alley-oop all over again. Now here's Barnes. Really played well against Phoenix in his last outing.
And the game plan is clear. Work the ball inside.
And as we get into the meat of the NBA season, wear and tear is starting to factor in for rotation players. It's just how hard can playing 36 minutes a night, every game be in a body.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of wear and tear, and a lot of times you get a chance to see it at the end of the season and the playoffs. So if you can keep some of these star players and all players around 36, 35, 34, and then let them play a little bit longer in playoffs, that's what you're trying to do as a coaching staff.
I'm looking back here. You played almost 40 minutes a game back in the late 90s. Wow.
That's why I'm sitting here right next to you right now, Kevin.
Yeah, that's right. And the bad boy Pistons, perhaps the greatest group this franchise has put together, and also one of the most memorable in the history of the NBA. Smitty, you played against some of those guys. What was that like?
Well, first of all, Kevin, I got a chance to grow up in Detroit, watching these guys, being around them, being able to practice. I mean, they were a total tight group. They had some great characters in Lambeer and Rodman and Sally and Dumars and Isaiah and the microwave. But they played extremely hard, and obviously the style of play was defense, rebound, and put you on your butt.
Oh boy, to be young again.
Makes you nostalgic, doesn't it? Smith kicks to Matthews. And the pass to Nowitzki. Plenty of room to knock down the shot. Nowitzki's got his third basket of the night.
Defensively, giving up far too many open rhythm looks.
Jackson kicks to Griffin. Johnson against Barnes. Here's Drummond. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
Ah, nice move inside. Has the defender beat. Just fails to finish.
Smith with it, and Griffin picks him up defensively. Here's Nowitzki. It's good. The assist that time from Smith. And that's now 9 points for Nowitzki.
Uh-oh, starting out in rhythm. That's 4 out of 5 he's hit, and we're only in quarter number 1.
Here's Griffin. Nice D from Nowitzki.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint.
Smith inside, guarded by Jackson. And out of bounds. The Pistons will take it.
And a chance here to take a look at the numbers for Harrison Barnes. His last 10 games, 16th in three-point field goal percentage, and he's right up there in the top 20 in scoring. Certainly a force to be reckoned with offensively.
And yeah, one of the better three-point shooters in pro basketball. He's killed it from downtown every time we've watched him. Very impressive. Now here's Johnson. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. Puts it up from 12. That doesn't go either for Griffin. Dallas leading by 12. Now here is Smith. He isn't playing a big part of their offensive scheme, averaging around 15.5 points a game. Shot clock at 6. Barnes passes to Nowitzki. Griffin with the steal. Here's Jackson. Drummond trying to get himself free. Jackson misses. Matthews left side. Nowitzki outside. Three-pointer. And no good. And Detroit the other way now.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
Kennard's shot is off.
Well, this is why you see guys shying away from their mid-range jumper. It's a bit of a lost art.
And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And there's the foul against Detroit.
2 shots. Foul. Elbow. 2.
I'm not sure, Greg, there's a player who better fits the description of a grinder than Wes Matthews.
Yeah, so tough, too. I mean, mentally and physically. He talks about inflicting his personality on the team, and he truly is what I'd call a culture builder.
2 shots.
Free throw, good. Matthews. For the Mavericks, 16 consecutive years of 500 basketball or better. Coming to an end last season, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, it was the beginning of a rebuild. The first time in a long time for the Mavs. And they waived some of their veterans to free up space and court time to further develop those young players. And with how competitive this organization is, that you know they'll do everything they can to get back in contention to try to send Dirk out on a high note.
Now a timeout called by Detroit.
And when you take a look at that shot chart, the amount of misses lately, really unbelievable.
You start to wonder, in my opinion, is it better to take everything to the rack now or to try at least draw some fouls?
So many teams these days looking to play in transition. Some have suggested widening the definition of the clear path foul to allow those exciting situations to play out. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think it's still basketball defensively. I think if you have a guy that's out in front of you, I think the rules right now is fantastic. I don't want to see a change where guys are scared to make a play on the basketball because, hey, if I don't foul him, he gets a chance to get a bucket and 2 more shots. At the end of the game, in a huge game, which they all are, sometimes you want to be able to foul a guy, but if he's in front of you, I like the way the rules are right now.
And the rejection by Smith. Barea dishes to McDermott. No good on the triple.
A team's rebounding is a great measure of its energy, and theirs has been terrific here in the first quarter.
Ennis, good.
Taking what the defense offers up, Smith with good vision there finds the open man.
Barea against Smith. Now here's Curry. Not a lot of room. Detroit with the rebound. Here's Smith. Got a piece of it. And here we go. Fast break. Barea's got it. Sinks the three-pointer. Barea's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
Defensively, they've been a step slow here to start.
They set the pick. Teardrop shot. Galloway with the bucket. Mavericks leading by 10. And here's Barea. Last game we saw him score 13. In the corner, it's McDermott. Back to Barea. Down to 5 on the shot clock. McDermott can't get it to go. Pistons trail by 10. Here's Smith. And 2 free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact. While we've got a moment, let's now take a look at the teams that had the most second chance points on the season. Fifth on the list, the Pistons.
And just having a terrific year on the offensive glass, it's because everybody buys in. Not just the big men, but even the guards are getting in on the act.
The free throw drops for Smith.
You know, last season was a strong one for Ish Smith. He filled in as a starter, and he came off the bench. More of a scoring point guard, but he did a nice job of setting the table for everybody.
Smith hits them both. And with Ish Smith, he filled in for Reggie Jackson a lot as a starter last season, and he was terrific. He showed that he can be effective in whatever role you need him. Stan Van Gundy had high praise for him.
Yeah, and what I like about him is that he'll give you production if you play him 5 minutes or 30 minutes. Never loses focus or disappears in a game.
Now here's Powell. Looking for his first basket still in this one. McDermott. It gets rebounded by Ennis.
And that's the look this offense is designed to produce.
Always frustrating when you do everything right, yet just can't complete the play.
And he runs the floor with a purpose that time. Excellent play.
You know what? And a late reaction by the transition D takes it himself uncontested.
And here are the Mavericks now after the basket by Detroit. From deep, Barea. And here are the Pistons now. They're on an 11-3 run. And Seth Curry is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. McDermott with a steal. And here we go. The Mavericks on a fast break. Knocked loose. It's stolen by Smith. Here's Galloway. Guarded by Kerr. Galloway kicks to Tolliver. Pass to Smith. Lure the screen. Clock at 6. Puts up a 3. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. Smith's got 3 assists in the game. Here's Barea. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. And Curry has it in the corner. There's 42 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And for the Mavericks, clearly the rebuild, Greg, has begun.
Yeah, but they made good use of their picks. They brought in more youth and signed their building blocks. Franchise isn't used to rebuilding, but they are approaching it, I think, the right way.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The first one falls.
And one thing that you can say about this Pistons team is they are fundamentally sound, strong on the glass and closing out possessions, and they really don't make a lot of mistakes.
And both free throws good for Barea. And here are the Pistons. They're on a 14-5 run here. There's Galloway, guarded by Kerr. Now the dish to Tolliver. Out of bounds, Dallas will take possession.
Has his man, just misses with the pass. Not sure what happened on that play.
.24 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Curry with it. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. There's the pick. Here's Powell. And a great assist by Curry as that one goes in. And the Mavericks lead by 7. Here's Galloway. And no good trying to get that one. And so it's the Dallas Mavericks heading to the bench with a 7-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. And Dirk Nowitzki steadily climbing the all-time scoring rankings. He talked about the remarkable journey of his long and illustrious career.
When I first got here, my first year was so tough that I didn't really know that I can make it in this league. To be named with all these names is an unbelievable honor, and it's been a crazy ride.
Dirk has proven himself through the test of time. As tough as it may have been back in his rookie year, he overcame those obstacles to become this elite NBA player destined for the Hall of Fame.
And people do talk about players being a Dirk Nowitzki type. You're right about that. And that's a type any team would like to have. One of the greatest power forwards in the NBA's history.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And what do you think, guys, about Dallas here in this one?
I mean, a solid first quarter, especially looking at that plus turnover ratio.
Take care of the basketball, being disruptive on D. That combination has them out in front.
J.J. Barea is out there with Curry. Then it's McDermott. Then there's Measure. And it's Powell in a power forward position. So that's who Dallas starts the second with. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sideline.
Kevin, Rick Carlisle is one of the most respected head coaches in the league, especially for his X's and O's. But Bucks coach Jason Kidd, who played for Carlisle, praised his disposition. He's never up and never down, Kidd said. There's no panic in it. He gives you that sense of security to go out there and make a play. Kevin?
Gotta love Coach Carlisle, D.A., an even-keel guy who places a lot of trust in his players.
And they've only got a slight edge on the boards, but it just feels a lot bigger.
Now Barea, 5 points in the game. Measure misses.
Uh-oh, he misses the bunny. I think he thought somebody was coming over to contest it.
Lure the screen. Galloway kicks to Lure. Over to the left wing. 5 on the clock. Lure sets the pick for Ennis. An easy layup after coming off the pick. Ennis has got it back down to within single digits for the Pistons. Barea kicks to Measure. From deep. Another shot. And that's 2 points on the layup. And the Mavericks lead by 11.
And Kevin, they've dialed up their activity this quarter. We're seeing them convert a lot of those second chance opportunities.
Lure the screen. Offensive rebound. Goes up again, and the layup is up and in. Lure's got 7 points in the game.
Defensively, you cause the miss, but then you have to corral it.
There's nothing more frustrating than that. Giving up points on a possession, you won.
Now here's Powell. He has 6. McDermott kicks to Curry. Puts it up from 15. It's hauled in by Tolliver. Tolliver's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Feeds to Ennis. From past the arc. The Pistons with the fresh 24. And it's blocked. Here's Curry. And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing. And the foul called on the Detroit Pistons. This is his first chance at the line tonight.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And the first one drops. And offensively, the great teams pass up a good shot for a great shot. And San Antonio seems to be a nice example of that. If not this year, certainly in the past. Where do you draw the line, though, Steve, between great passing and then overpassing?
Well, I think then you start to look at teams are saying these guys are not equipped mentally or physically or skill-wise to take that open shot. If you have an open shot, you got to be a little selfish, and obviously if it's a better shot, you move it on. But at times, you got to take that good shot and believe that you can make it or just make the right play. A lot of teams are not making the right play, and they're overpassing.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over.
And the Mavericks looking to go young now around Nowitzki. Unsurprisingly, they've already found some intriguing young prospects.
Wesley Matthews checked in for Seth Curry. Jackson against Smith. And then Griffin with the dunk.
Blake Griffin was pointing his finger to throw it up way high, and he went, got it, and dunked it home.
And for the Mavericks, you look at their young guys, a lot of athleticism, and Greg, an upside already on the roster.
And Mavs fans have to be pleased with what they've done so far. I mean, especially with the selection of Dennis Smith in the draft, who can be a special player at that point guard position. They're making smart moves to kind of revamp this roster.
Here's Jackson following the score by Dallas. Jackson a screen on Barnes. Inside, Drummond, and the bucket counts. Three-point chance here.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Do you see the frame on Andre Drummond? Easy for me to see why he can shed off so many defenders inside. He's incredibly strong, hard to stop when he gets near the rim.
Throw good, Drummond. And the strength of Andre Drummond, you talked about it, Steve. It's not just upper body, but lower body as well. He can open up a lot of space if he gets the ball down low.
You know, once he gets it in the paint, there's nothing you can do. His footwork off the block is coming along well. It's a process for him to refine his moves.
Now, here is Smith. On the wing, Barnes. It's good, the assist that time from Smith. Smith's got 4 assists now tonight.
He smiles on these catch-and-shoot opportunities. Barnes very comfortable as a secondary scorer.
Here's Jackson. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Johnson the screen. Kennard the pass to Drummond. Shoots it. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. It's going to be on Nerlens Noel.
And when you look at Dennis Smith Jr., you aren't blown away by the physicality at first, but he's incredibly gifted for a player his size. Great speed and quickness to blow by defenders.
The Pistons shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
And their success rate on the season, right around 77%.
No good on the free throw. And with Dennis Smith, it isn't just burst of speed, it's his play in the open floor and Greg running end to end, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, he also just jumps and finishes at the rim like a shooting guard. He's only probably 6'2", 6'3", but he gets up in the air like a wing player. He's a lot like Derrick Rose was when he burst on the scene. And when you look at what the Pistons have done, pretty clear this is a team that has a vision of who they want to be. Strong defensively, really good at rebounding the basketball, and I think deliberate and patient on the offensive side of the floor.
Here's Kennard after Dirk Nowitzki's bucket. Rejected by Nowitzki. Barnes kicks to Noel, goes straight through the defender for the dunk, draws the foul. He'll go to the line. Andre Drummond picks one up.
And he can do a lot more damage to the rim than that when he wants to.
Oh, you're right. And with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
One shot.
And with the Pistons, this has been the identity the team has been aiming for under Stan Van Gundy. It's taken shape, but has yet, Greg, to produce big results.
I think it's because they've just always been one or two pieces short of making that next jump. I think the conference has gotten stronger, and while their best players are really good, I don't think they're quite at that elite level yet to allow this group to take that next step.
Here's Smith following the score by Reggie Jackson, and stolen by Drummond. And here comes Jackson leading the fast break. And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot two.
The 7-foot wingspan of Reggie Jackson makes him a bigger player inside, helps him draw fouls.
And Reggie Jackson, the Boston College Eagle, when he is on the floor, you can see how he acts as a spark plug for his team. Steve, a very creative player whose big strength is getting things going on offense.
And wherever Reggie's been, he's been great in that role of catalyst. When he's injured, you can see how the offense changes. Very underrated as a playmaker in this league.
And he knocks down the first one.
You know, he was the 24th pick in 2011. I think it's safe for us to say Jackson's outplayed that draft slot.
Both free throws good from Jackson. And pretty much every NBA player grew up playing multiple sports. Smitty, which other sports did you play as a kid growing up? And did you think maybe that would have helped you playing basketball later on?
You know, Kevin, I tried football, and it definitely helped me in basketball because I said, no, this is not for me. So let me put all my emphasis in basketball. Taking those hits, I just wasn't built for that. And after that, I ran cross country because you had to do two sports in my high school to be able to play one. I didn't like that either, but I think cross country really helped me with basketball.
But I can see where a lot of other sports could help with footwork and hand-eye coordination and right on down the line.
Yeah, soccer I think is number one. I watched Tony Parker, the way his movement, playing soccer. My son right now is playing soccer, Hakeem Olajuwon. I think that's the sport that coincides the best with basketball.
I would agree. Now Smith after the missed three from Reggie Jackson, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Nowitzki. As we approach the halfway mark, let's take a look at how everything stands out west. Taking a look at Golden State, and not a surprise really to see them sitting there in that #1 spot in the conference. The excellent brand of basketball they've been putting on display lately has been terrific. And of course the Mavericks just way behind.
And I think for Dallas, they're in the mix for a playoff spot, which is definitely a positive, but I'm sure they'd like to have had their hands around that spot a little tighter than they do.
I agree. They're not going to be able to coast. They're going to have to battle their way into the postseason. But maybe they'll toughen up by the time the playoffs arrive.
Now here is Smith following the miss by Griffin. Some solid defense there from Jackson. Barnes against Johnson. He kicks it to Jackson. Left side, Griffin. Lobbed up there for Drummond. Shot clock at 5. And he gets the bucket. 8 points for Blake Griffin.
I love the effort by Blake Griffin down on the block, making it look very easy.
There's a screen by Noel. Shot to end this cold run, and he sinks the layup. And the Mavericks lead by 12.
And they keep hammering away at them inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Jackson has the open look. That one falls coming off Johnson's feed. Jackson's got it back down to single digits for the Pistons. Outside Matthews. Smith outside. He can't get that one to fall. And the Pistons now going the other way. Griffin dishes to Johnson. Oh, and the jam by Johnson.
That's how you play the game. Draw 2 defenders, kick it out to the wide open man for a bucket.
Smith against Jackson. The drive by Smith. Wesley Matthews on the wing. Off target from outside. The Pistons on offense. Stringing it together. They've got an 11-2 run going.
Yeah, the aggressive D inside leads to a missed opportunity there.
You know, he had terrific position, does a good job of affecting the shot without fouling.
Pistons trail by 7. Johnson, the pass to Drummond. There's Jackson with the 3. Mavericks with the rebound. They come into this having outplayed Phoenix the last game.
Yeah, and some nights, you know, the starters carry the load, and then there's others when it's about the bench. That night, the bench won out.
Sometimes when you go to your second unit, sometimes the offense can bog down. Not that night.
The Mavericks haven't made a mistake at the line yet. 10 of 10.
You've got to appreciate their ability to make free throws. 81% as a team.
Shooting 2.
That's good from Barnes.
And they have yet to miss a shot from the line here this quarter.
Curry's checked in for Dallas. Barnes hits them both.
Barnes, the former Tar Heel, is usually lights out from the charity stripe.
And Detroit has possession. 9-point game. Next up for them, the Knicks coming out here to play. That game marks the first half of a quick 2-game homestand.
Oh, and that would have been a spectacular alley-oop. Really difficult to get the timing right on those long ones.
Smith. Not going to go that time. Some solid defense there from Jackson.
Lacking confidence right now in his offense. He's been shaky all period.
The Pistons working the ball around now. Kennard, the pass to Drummond. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2.
And a quick check of the stats for Drummond. Over the last month, he has been spectacular. First in rebounding, 7th in blocks, and he's in the top 10 in field goal percentage. Really able to power his way to the bucket and finish through contact.
And just going back real quick to the fact that he's tops in the league in rebounds, what a tremendous feat. What a monster he is in the paint. Free throw good, Drummond.
He entered the league with high expectation. Drummond made a lot of mistakes early, as one would expect. Now starting to come into his own.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Measury, he's checked in for Nerlens Noel. Powell comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Doug McDermott, he's checked in for Barnes. And Barea subbed in for Smith. And both free throws good for Drummond.
And love how he's getting himself to the line this quarter. If he keeps it up, it'll end up creating some foul problems on the other side, and that can always help a team's cause.
Now here's McDermott. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard.
And you can see it in terms of protecting the rim. Drummond has the ability. He just needs to stay active on a consistent basis.
Ennis kicks to Lure. Drummond a screen. Here's Galloway, guarded by Curry. Curry with the steal. Barea kicks to McDermott. And he uses the glass on the layup. And now an 11-point Maverick lead.
Let's not forget, at 6'8", Doug McDermott has the ability to be a scoring threat inside the paint.
Well, you know that a Stan Van Gundy team is going to be a disciplined team, and the Pistons were no exception last season.
Totally true. This team doesn't foul or give up the ball easily. Minimal turnovers per possession, second in the league. They close out well and they rebound well. Both signs of a team that has the fundamentals down. His lack of consistency with his shot tonight has held them back.
These players have been dominant on the glass in their last 10 games, leading the NBA in rebounding. Second, Andre Drummond.
When it comes to rebounding, it's been a stupendous stretch for him. He's been using his body and strength so effectively.
Shooting 2.
Free throw good by Curry. Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for Andre Drummond. And both free throws good for Curry. Pistons trail by 13. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Smith kicks to Tolliver. Barea against Smith. 4 on the shot clock. It's deflected. It's Curry outside. Drops in the tray. Curry's got 7 points in the game.
And after a scoreless first quarter, he's finally finding the range here in the second.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Smith against Barea. Now here is Smith. He's guarded closely. He feeds it to Ennis. That one's off. Still out of sync.
You know, he was looking for revenge, trying to match shots from distance.
And so it's Dallas with a sizable lead as the quarter wraps up. They're ahead 16 points. They've been playing some ferocious defense. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Harrison, a strong first half for you guys defensively. What has worked at that end?
We're trying to be active. You know, this is a very good team. They've been shooting the ball really well from 3, so we're just trying to run them off the line.
So far, so good. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, for that interview. And we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Harrison Barnes led the way in the first half. He had 12 points, 3 assists, and 1 rebound. And Kenny, what are your thoughts on how Dallas played?
That was the half of the super sub for them. A lot of offense coming off the bench, and that's such a luxury to have that kind of firepower available. There were times when the pace picked up when the second unit came into the game. And that's the best part, having a bunch of guys who's ready at the drop of a hat.
Shaq, what'd you think about the Pistons?
Way too soft in the paint defensively. They were all late on their rotations. Obviously, that's a recipe for getting cooked. And you know, I like eating that barbecue chicken. They got to do better, Ernie.
And that will wrap up our halftime report, as it's just about time for the start of the second half.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. And you know, Harrison Barnes has really been making it happen, guys.
Yeah, so far they haven't found an answer for him, a scoring machine here in that first half.
Defensively coming in, you know he's going to be tough to stop, but I'm still waiting to see a plan to even contain him.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. And Detroit, looking at who they've got. We've got Johnson. Jackson is out there with Kennard. Then there's Griffin. And it's Drummond in at the 5, roaming the paint. Now, here's Nowitzki. 16-point lead, the largest margin in the game. Barnes can't get it to go. And now the fast break. Griffin with the ball. Here's Johnson. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It's going to be on Dennis Smith. And Stanley Johnson, the youngster out of Arizona, grew up in Los Angeles where he was the high school player of the year. You know, Steve, he hasn't had the easiest time adjusting to the NBA, but he certainly has room to improve, and right now the offense just isn't there for him.
You know, the question is, people are saying, is time ticking away for Stanley to prove that he's a rotation player? It's kind of predictable on offense. People pushes him to go right because he only goes right. Just hasn't developed the way the team was hoping for.
First one falls for him. Dallas making a switch here. Noel's checked in. Both shots good from the stripe. You know, Stephen, I think of Stan Van Gundy, I think of versatile, because we all know he's the head coach of the Detroit Pistons, but he's in charge of all their personnel moves, too. This guy's got a lot on his plate.
Yeah, he does. I mean, when you start to look at it, he's wearing two hats. And one thing, he's doing a good job trying to run his organization from a management standpoint and also from a coach's standpoint. So far, so good for Stan.
Now Detroit moving it up. Jackson's got the ball, and Griffin slams it in.
The playmaking of Reggie, a work in progress, but looking good right there.
It was beautiful the first time, but Under Armour showing us the replay of that tremendous alley-oop again. Another unleash chaos moment. Now here is Smith. Pass to Nowitzki. Great D that time from Griffin.
Ouch. 5 shots without a make. That's a really ragged start coming out of halftime.
They recover it. Drummond. And at last, they get one to fall. Drummond's got 11.
The league leader in offensive rebounds on multiple occasions. Drummond doing it again.
Here's Barnes, and it's Barnes slamming it down.
Oh, inflicting some punishment with the two-hand flush.
They're going for the throat. Pistons trail by 12. Drummond sets the screen for Jackson. Griffin goes in, fouled in the act of shooting. A three-point play chance coming up.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Griffin doesn't do it as often anymore, but he is still one of the top dunkers in the league. He just rises up and finishes with a lot of power. There was a time when he was good for a poster dunk every game.
And the Mavericks making a change here. Powell's checked in. The free throw off from Griffin. And Steve, Griffin's still a fantastic dunker, as you said, but it's something he's done less and less as he's grown as a player.
Yeah, you think of him, and you will, as one of the best dunkers of all time, but he's not really doing that a lot anymore. It's better for his game long-term to switch off trying to slam it home every time and just play the game at a great level.
That cuts the lead to single digits. 9 points for Reggie Jackson.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
Smith dishes to Nowitzki. It's good, the assist that time from Smith. Smith's got his 6th assist on the night.
Well, we know he's been confident with the shot. A big reason why they're ahead in this game.
Now here's Johnson. He's got 6. Outside Griffin. Drummond in the post. Powell's there. And it's Drummond missing.
And that's the battle they haven't been winning today. Their work on the glass has been porous, and that's got to change.
Smith for 3. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got 6 rebounds now in the game. Johnson with it. Guarded now by Barnes. The feed now to Griffin. Another shot rejected by Nowitzki. They retain possession. And another shot. And with that, the Maverick lead is cut down to 8 on the bucket from Kennard.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Powell down low. Defended by Drummond. Got him with the pump fake. Savvy move right there. Barnes has got 4 points this quarter.
They need to keep getting the ball to Barnes. When he's got the hot hand, he's a very difficult player to slow down.
Now a timeout called by Detroit.
And I'll tell you what, age ain't nothing but a number when you talk about the impact of Dirk Nowitzki. I mean, with his size and shooting touch, he creates so many openings for himself and his teammates offensively.
And we see a chart here for the shooting performance so far for Drummond.
And looking at this shot chart, you can't help but feel that this entire team has played passively on offense. There has been little to nothing going on at the rim or in the paint for that matter. And when you don't attack the defense and put pressure on them down low, you are making life far too easy on them.
We've gone about 3.5 minutes into the third now. Johnson the screen. Lobbed up there for Drummond. Out of bounds. It'll be Mavericks ball. And Nowitzki's turnaround, an unblockable shot when he's hitting. Greg, he's unguardable.
And even though he's lost a little lift in the legs, he's worked hard to kind of quicken his release. And just another tweak for a guy who's made a career of adding layers to his Hall of Fame game.
Now, here is Smith. And it's Nowitzki missing.
Obviously, this has been a tough quarter for him, but he's still trying to keep a positive mindset.
Outside Jackson. He dishes it to Drummond. Shoots over Powell. And again, it's the Pistons missing. Mavericks leading by 10. Kicks it to Barnes. Smith drives in. He gets it in there. Smith's got his third bucket of the night.
And even if you get a hand up, Smith knows how to finish. When he's in the post, he is dangerous.
Johnson the screen. Outside Jackson. Dishes it to Johnson. Passes it to Kennard. 6 to shoot. Here's Drummond. It's deflected. On the wing, Barnes. He's guarded by Johnson.
Barnes making up his mind early. He was going straight to the rack there. Gotta love how aggressive he is.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Now here's Drummond. 11 points in the game. The pass to Kennard. Drummond with a screen on Matthews. Kennard's shot is off. Dallas has gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. Here's Smith, and he overdid it there. Too much force, it looked like, on the foul, and he's called for the flagrant.
And, Kevin, that's a pretty dangerous play right there. I mean, I don't like to see a player put an opponent in harm's way, as much as you just saw him do there. Glad they pinned a flagrant on him.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. The officials were all over it. They weren't going to let him off the hook that time. That one is off. So many great point guards in this year's draft. Greg, what stands out to you about North Carolina State's Dennis Smith?
Well, I think he's the best athlete of them all. A terror off the bounce, great toughness, and he's drawn some comparison to Stevie Francis when you talk about his bounce and physicality.
Curry's checked in for Matthews. Smith the pass to Nowitzki. Back to Smith over Jackson, and it's Smith that time on the assist by Nowitzki. That's now 8 points for Smith.
And it's been about that execution offensively. I mean, they have been superb.
That's what's extending this lead. The right plays, right time, and good finishing.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Curry kicks to Barnes. Back to Curry. Rebound by the Pistons. Drummond's got his 8th rebound here tonight. To the paint, here's Kennard. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top, but instead he'll shoot free throws. It's his first trip to the line.
Gotta admire what he's been able to do at the free throw line this season. How about over 90%?
2 shots.
First free throw is good. McDermott's checked in for Dallas. Barea comes in for Smith. And a different look here for the Pistons. John Lure, he's checked in for Drummond. Tolliver comes in for Blake Griffin. Langston Galloway's checked in for Stanley Johnson. And Smith's subbed in for Reggie Jackson. He hits both from the stripe.
And one of the problems in the first half, that shoddy work at the free throw line. They needed to fix that, and they've been much improved since the break.
Now here's Curry. He's got 7. Another miss by Curry.
Yeah, blown opportunity after the two-man game creates a terrific look.
That's how it's drawn up. That is, everything but the finish.
Dallas leading by 12. Here is Barea. 5 points in the game. Here's Powell. Again, the miss by the Mavericks.
Wow, he had it at point-blank range, but the defense was all over him.
Offensive rebound. And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
His combination of energy and anticipation showing up on the offensive glass. John Lure, not a player you usually think about twice, but he was a solid contributor. Not the greatest of defenders, but he will always give you effort. Mostly deployed as a stretch 4.
Measury, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Ennis, he's checked in for the Pistons.
1 shot.
And Lure, as you mentioned, Steve, becoming more and more of a stretch 4. Not a great shooting season for him last season, but he does open things up for an offense.
Yeah, John gives you more than just his shooting. He also can create off the bounce a little bit. Solid passer for his size and position.
Now here's Barnes. He's got 18. Measury misses.
Shooting 2.
He misses the free throw.
You know, the way he plays the game, he's always in attack. This is the one area I think he definitely has to improve on in his career. Ish Smith is knocking down free throws.
He hits the second from the line. Dallas leading by 8. Now here's Barea. 5 points in the game. Barnes. And the dunk by Barnes.
Got to give credit to Barnes there. Masterful job collecting speed on the drive and punching it through the basket.
Detroit's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. There's the pick. Smith dishes to Lure. It's tipped. And here's Barea. Drains it from beyond the arc. Barea's got 8 points. Barea against Smith. Pass to Lure. Screen by Smith. Lure the pass to Ennis. And he comes up with the deuce. 7 points in the game. Here's Barea. 8 points for him. And Curry has it in the corner. And he uses the glass on the layup. And the Mavericks lead by 13.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Screen by Smith. And Lure kicks to Ennis. McDermott with the double team. 5 to shoot. They set the pick. Here's Smith. The Mavericks pull it in. McDermott's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Curry kicks to Barnes, and it's Harrison Barnes with the foul. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Shooting 2.
He misses the free throw. Nerlens Noel checks in for the Mavericks. And he can't get the second one to drop either. Coming up empty that time. Mavericks leading by 13. Here's McDermott. Here's Noel. And he lays it straight in. Noel's got his 3rd bucket of the night.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
The Pistons working the ball around now. The dish to Tolliver. Smith on the wing. Fires from deep. Mejri with the rebound. Dallas has gone into a slump here from 3-point range, shooting just 1 of 5 here in the 3rd. Barea against Smith. Barea dishes to McDermott. Back to Barea. Right through the D for the layup. Barea's got 5 points now this quarter.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Feeds it to Smith. There's a screen. Back to Galloway. And stolen by Noel. Curry passes to Mejri. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
And with the pause here, how about the stats for Noel? He's putting up about 8 points a game, 14 rebounds, and just over 2 blocks. And he knows how to use that big body to control the paint.
He's a bull inside. Let me tell you, when he starts to get that look in his eye, just get out of his way.
2 shots.
That free throw missing. And the second free throw, good. We've got 1:18 left to play here in the 3rd. Lure the screen. And stolen by Noel. Looking to get it going. Mejri kicks to McDermott. And it's Lure with the rebound. Lure's got his 6th rebound on the night. Ennis with the ball. He has 7. Here's Galloway. He kicks it to Tolliver. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Smith. Good on the bucket. Smith's got 5 now.
The defense slow to react that time. Smith makes them pay using his quickness.
Barea, the pass to Mejri. There's the feed to McDermott. There's a screen by Noel. McDermott kicks to Curry. Nice work there coming off the screen. Curry's got 4 this quarter.
Excellent use of the screen there to free himself up and create space to make the open J.
Smith against Barea. Smith outside. Lure the screen. There's the pick. Here's Galloway. And the miss. Harrison Barnes getting it done for the Dallas Mavericks. His production has been flowing as he's tallied 20 points and looks to be planning for more. We've got more in store for you right after this. And now let's take a listen to Stan Van Gundy on a recent huddle.
Hey, come on, we got to do this together and play some defense. Let's go.
Stan Van Gundy pleading with his team. Guys, get on the same page is his message, and stay together.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to take good communication on both ends of the floor to give Coach what he wants.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. At the 2 and the 3, it's Curry and Matthews. Noel is out there with measuring, and it's Barea in at the 1 spot. That's the lineup in the game for Dallas. And that one drops.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Ennis sets the screen for Smith. He feeds it to Lure. Pass to Galloway. It's rebounded by Dallas.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Matthews. Reggie Jackson's checked in for the Pistons. 60 seconds off the clock here in the fourth. Galloway dishes to Jackson. That's good, and so Galloway with the assist. 12 points for Reggie Jackson.
Important to space the floor in this offense. Jackson doing his part there off the screen.
And there's the defensive 3-second call. And there are a few players in the NBA who can match Reggie Jackson with the fearless approach he takes to the game. He'll always look to take that big shot, Steve, and goes right at bigger defenders and doesn't blink.
When you're Jackson's size, you have to have that mentality. Always looking for a way to attack a defense. Doesn't always work out, but the aggression he plays with never dies.
Free throw good by Curry. A different look for Dallas. Nowitzki comes in for measure, and Smith subbed in for J.J. Barea. And a different look here for the Pistons. Drummond's checked in for Lure. Griffin comes in for Anthony Tolliver. Stanley Johnson, he's checked in for James Ennis. And it's Kennard in for Langston Galloway. Now here's Curry. He dishes it to Smith. No good with the triple. Jackson in the corner. Another 3 for Detroit.
And you're seeing it with Jackson tonight. When he gets in a real rhythm, man, he can light up the scoreboard.
The drive by Smith, and it's sent back by Drummond. Pass break Detroit. Here's Jackson. Goes back up. In deep, Drummond drops it in.
Really strong rebounding on the interior, and he gets the easy putback.
Mavericks leading by 13. Up top, Curry. Nowitzki a screen. Curry passes to Noel. For 3, Smith. It's good from long range.
And you like to see since the half now, he's finally starting to come around.
Detroit's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Oh, Griffin in position, and Griffin slams it in.
And maybe that'll trigger them. Impossible not to get pumped up after that.
Yeah, well, you could see the immediate reaction of the guys in the bench. They are pumped up. Now, here's Matthews. They get it back. Curry kicks to Noel. Dishes it to Nowitzki. And a great assist by Curry as that one goes in. 15 points for Dirk Nowitzki. Pistons trail by 16. Outside Jackson. Top of the key, Griffin. In the corner, Drummond with it. Passes it to Kennard. 6 to shoot. Here's Jackson. Here's Drummond. Unable to get that one. So the Mavericks will take it the other way. They led the game at 1 point by 20. They get to take on the Heat at Miami after this one. And that'll be the first of a 2-game road trip for it. Nowitzki dishes to Noel. And it's Smith that time on the assist by Noel. And it's 13 points for Dennis Smith.
And a lot to like about that play, particularly how it ends.
Yeah, at the rack. That's what you want in transition, a high percentage look.
Now here's Jackson. Kicks it to Drummond. And the rejection by Noel. Here's Matthews. The shot, no good. Excellent D there by Johnson. Jackson kicks to Griffin. Drummond a screen. And the rejection by Noel. Over in the corner, Matthews. Dallas moving the ball around. And the basket by Nowitzki. Nowitzki's got 4 points now in the quarter.
It's fine to extend your defense to try and create turnovers, but guys have to help each other.
That's been a problem for them all game. Teamwork is something you just can't turn on and off.
Here's Jackson after Dirk Nowitzki's bucket. Drummond is doubled. Buries it down low.
In attack mode inside, the best of Drummond comes out when he's being decisive.
And the Mavericks call time here. And Nerlens Noel out of Kentucky, slender and mobile and long. And Craig, he can cover ground in a hurry.
Boy, and you can see it in his rate of steals to go along with the blocks. That quickness is a huge asset in today's game. It's all about versatility, both offensively and defensively.
Harrison Barnes, he's checked in for Curry. And a switcher also for Detroit. Smith has checked in. The kick out to Matthews. Buries the long-range jumper. And the Mavericks lead by 21.
And he is not shy about pulling the trigger from downtown. Matthews has the eye and the confidence from three-point range that you just love to see.
That shot off. Smith against Smith. Here's Nowitzki. It's good. The assist that time from Smith. Smith's got assist number 8 here in this one already. Griffin a screen on Smith. Smith the pass to Griffin. Good work defensively by Nowitzki. Mavericks leading by 23. Smith outside. The pass to Matthews. Takes a big height bounce and goes in. Matthews has got 5 points now in the quarter. Detroit's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Smith kicks to Johnson. Drummond working against Noel. Here's Griffin. Another miss by Griffin.
And this is one of those times where the coach has got to preach, be unselfish.
And we don't know that he hasn't. Maybe it's been falling on deaf ears. Guys taking ill-advised jump shots.
For 3, Smith. Rebounded by the Pistons. Drummond's got 12 rebounds here tonight. Big time effort. And with the business of basketball booming, most players are afforded a pretty lavish lifestyle. There's no doubt, and not only the NBA, but in all sports, certainly a blessing. But Smitty, are there downsides to all that notoriety, all that money, all that lavishness?
Yeah, it is, Kevin. I think the downside is, one, you can't live that lifestyle if it's lavish for the rest of your life. And I think second, it takes away. You are a public figure right now. You have to understand that. And that's the downside. Being able to go out with your family, being able to go out to a restaurant, you got to understand, yes, there's going to be fans everywhere, and it takes away from that. So I think that's the 2 things for me is guys got to understand that lifestyle doesn't last. And I think also, personally, it takes away from what you can do out in public.
So it's Detroit now. Harrison Barnes missing on the 3. Nelson against Smith. Shoots from 12. Drummond. Good. And a nice assist from Nelson. 17 points for Andre Drummond.
And once he sets up that low, you really have to work to root him off the block.
Yeah, he has the grit to dig in and the skill to counter if you try to get physical with him.
Now here's Barnes. It's tipped, and it's out of bounds to the Mavericks as Dallas retains possession.
And how about the reaction time on D there? Almost comes up with the pick.
You know, these are the little plays that can add up when you look over the course of a game.
And the Pistons making a change here. Blake Griffin, he's checked in for Ellenson. Stanley Johnson comes in for Reggie Bullock. Kennard, he's checked in for Ish Smith. And Langston Galloway subbed in for Nelson.
I love that play for Barnes. Coming off the screen with this athleticism, hard for the D to recover.
Drummond with a screen on Smith. Pass to Griffin. Johnson outside. And replay review now commonplace. In the interest of speeding up those reviews, Steve, the league last season allowing officials at the replay center in Secaucus, New Jersey to make the call. You like that decision?
You know I do, but I think sometimes finding a way to speed it up, and I think there's some way where you can have a referee right there on site also can be able to get a chance to see the play, because sometimes technology doesn't get back from Secaucus back to the game. If some kind of way, the middleman, if he's there and it's obvious play, that could cut the time, you know, because right now sometimes it's taking a long time.
As long as they get it right, correct? How they do it, who cares? As long as they get the call right, though, to me is the most important thing. What about you?
I do love that, Kevin, but I think sometimes, you know, human error is a part of basketball. The refs can't be perfect. And so sometimes if they're a bad call, it's just a bad call. You got to live with it.
Good on the second free throw. Dallas leading by 22. Nowitzki dishes to Smith. It's Drummond with the rebound.
You can see the frustration. They hold the lead, but he wants to be able to contribute.
Shots good by Kennard.
Amazing how he gets this one to go. Size doesn't matter.
But it can in the painted area. Regardless, he's crafty enough to get up a good shot.
And this is the first season where we have ads on jerseys in the NBA with the teams. Gut reaction, Steve, now that you've seen the ads on the jerseys, how do you feel about it?
You know, Kevin, I don't like it because I know it's going to start to add up. Well, we're not going to even be able to see the player's name and the logos. It's just going to be ads everywhere. I understand it, but I don't like it.
You know, I can see it for practice jerseys. I can see it maybe when you're selling it retail to the fans. But, I mean, isn't there enough advertising already? I mean, let's that's one of the great things about keep it as pure as possible. I get the European deal, but there's so much money here, it would seem like this is just an add-on that doesn't need to be added on.
Kevin, I'm totally in agreement with you. I think practice jerseys, like you said, selling the jerseys maybe, but I think also maybe at the All-Star game, you can fill those guys up for that one game. But I would love to keep it pure, getting a chance to just see those uniforms the way they are.
And so it's Detroit with the ball. Drummond with a screen on Smith. Floats one, and that's 2 points on the layup.
Good pick by Andre. His athleticism to get in position, the threat to roll off, reason why that play works.
Wesley Matthews on the wing. The dish to Powell. Tipped away. Time now for an injury report. Let's get an update on Jackson. What's the status, Dave?
Hi, guys. The head athletic trainer of the Pistons gave us some information. He said he turned his ankle, and it is definitely starting to swell up. Of course, the schedule is getting extremely demanding at this time of the season, and that injury is only going to make things worse. Kevin?
Thanks for checking in, DA. Injuries are always tough to deal with, but they're just a fact of life in the NBA.
And he'll have a lot of support as he goes through the recovery process. They want him back as soon as possible.
And we know how much better they'll be as a team when he's out of those street clothes and back in uniform.
Here's Drummond, and count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
And the second chance points aren't easy to come back. It's all about effort and hard work, and he has today made it look easy.
That's a carryover from the way he played in their last game. All-out energy plays on his way to a huge performance.
Dallas making a switch here. Measury's checked in, and the Pistons making a change here as well. Jackson, he's checked in for Langston Galloway. And that one misses. Mavericks leading by 18. Nowitzki, the pass to Matthews. Here's Barnes. And it's Griffin with the rebound. Griffin's got 6 rebounds now in the game. Offensive rebound. Drummond. From down in the low post, it goes. Drummond's got 13 points in the second half.
And looking a lot better now, but still a long way to go to get back into this one.
Very nice stretch from them, but the reason why they're not into this game, they have to get some stops.
Again, the miss by the Mavericks.
Definitely a situation you want to make sure you don't give him too good of a look.
The Pistons working the ball around now. Measury with the steal.
And so just rolling to the finish line now in what has been a very confident-looking performance for the Mavericks.
On a given night, 1 or 2 guys might have the off night from the line, but today the team did a much better job with their free throws.
They didn't lose focus, and it made a difference.
And so this will mark the 15th win of the year for them.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
A very solid win indeed. And when you check out the box score, there were some great numbers for Dirk Nowitzki.
What was impressive to me, it felt like he made an impact in so many areas. Some of the effort won't show up in the stat sheet, but I noticed it.
Here's Smith after the made shot from Andre Drummond. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a 3-point play opportunity.
And just putting the finishing touches on this one, they have been on fire.
I mean, a fantastic run. The guys are really clicking, and the scoreboard reflects that.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Powell, he's checked in for Nowitzki. McDermott comes in for Harrison Barnes. And Barea subbed in for Wesley Matthews.
One shot, find the lanes.
And the explosive athletic nature of Smith's game, really exciting. Just a guy at the point with a ton of upside.
Now here's Ennis. Lure sets the pick for Ennis. Feeds it to Lure. He kicks to Drummond. 5 to shoot. Here's Galloway. It's deflected. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Smith kicks to McDermott. Looking to get back on track here, and it's good for 2.
And they've earned this one, showing an ability to dominate in front of their home crowd.
You know, you feel on top of the world when it happens as a player, just the relationship you have with the fans.
Ennis kicks to Galloway. Here's Drummond, and it's Drummond with the jam.
Confident scoring effort by Drummond tonight. Feels like he has everything working to his advantage.
So we see the Mavericks taking the win here. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but you have to appreciate just what a clinical performance they put on.
I know their fans appreciated it, and we saw at times just stretches of excellent defense. Potency from an offensive standpoint as well. They were pretty much dominant.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. Dirk, how are you all able to exploit them inside tonight?
Well, I think our points of pain come more in transition. We got to push the ball. That's where we are best. We're not really a slow, grinded out kind of team. But if we do have to, and it's a slow game, then we got to find a way to penetrate some, make the defense collapse, and finish around the basket some. I was able to get in there some, so that was big for us, play inside out.
Yeah, you really had that defense moving tonight, Dirk. Thanks again. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Steve Smith, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you next time